The Young and the Restless spoilers Thurdays full July 9 2026. Welcome back to our channel, fellow Genoa City addicts. Today is another wild day in the soap universe, and we are so glad you're here to unpack all the drama with us. Grab a massive cup of coffee, settle in, and let's get right into the absolute chaos that is currently unfolding on our screens. I cannot believe what I just watched. Seriously, I am typing this up late at night after watching the latest episode, and I am so incredibly worked up over Jack Abbott, Patty Williams, and the absolute mess that is the Genoa City legal and corporate scene right now. I just need to get this out of my system before I explode. I mean, are we actually doing this again? Are we really pretending that Patty Williams is some untouchable criminal mastermind who can just waltz into the Abbott mansion and outsmart Jack at every single turn? Because I am so sick of it. I love this show. I've been watching for years and years, but sometimes I just want to throw my remote at the television. Patty is sitting there, with that smug, terrifyingly calm look on her face, acting like she holds all the cards, and Jack is just letting her. It's infuriating. I know some people are loving this dark, twisted Patty revival, but personally, I am losing my mind watching Jack play right into her hands. So, let's break down this absolute garbage fire of a storyline. Patty is actually trying to claim that Diane was the one who stabbed Jack, and not just Jack, but that Diane stabbed Patty too. I'm sorry, but in what universe does this make any logical sense? We all know Patty is the one who plunged that knife into Jack. Tracy literally just dragged the truth out of her. Tracy Abbott, the saint of Genoa City, the woman who writes wholesome novels and bakes cookies, literally pulled Patty by the hair to get that confession out of her. It was the most iconic Tracy moment in decades. But now, despite that confession, Patty is spinning this wild, delusional narrative, trying to frame Diane for the stabbing, and using it to blackmail Jack. She wants Jack to protect Diane from these fake charges by doing exactly what Patty wants. It is so twisted, so manipulative, and so perfectly Patty. And here is the kicker, the thing that makes me want to scream into a pillow until my lungs give out. Kyle is Diane's alibi. Kyle was literally with his mother the entire time. From the second Diane managed to get away from that absolute psycho Dr. Lawrence Markham, who, by the way, is a whole other can of worms, all the way until they found Jack bleeding out on the floor. Kyle was right there. He can testify under oath that Diane was nowhere near Jack when he was attacked. Kyle has been frantically searching for his mother. He loves Diane fiercely. He was there when she was in a state of absolute shock after escaping that barred room. He knows she didn't have the time, the weapon, or the physical strength at that moment to go stab Jack and Patty. Kyle is the perfect witness. So how on earth does Patty think she has the upper hand here? Does she think everyone in Genoa City suddenly lost their short-term memory? Does she think the police are just going to ignore the fact that the victim's own son can place the accused on the other side of town? It makes absolutely no sense, and yet Patty is parading around like she just pulled off the crime of the century. Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself, but can we just pause and talk about the Dr. Lawrence Markham twist for a second? The fact that Lawrence Markham might actually be Martin Laurent. I mean, my jaw was literally on the floor. We all remember the absolute terror Martin put Sharon and Phyllis through at that clinic. It was one of the darkest, most anxiety-inducing storylines we've had. And now you're telling me Patty Williams, the queen of stolen identities, somehow got Martin to alter his face to look like Markham. Remember when Patty got plastic surgery to look exactly like Dr. Emily Peterson so she could marry Jack? Yeah, this woman has a PhD in facial reconstruction schemes. It is brilliant. I will give the writers that. It is completely unhinged soap opera gold, but it also shows just how dangerous Patty is right now. She is working with a known psychopath to torture the Abbotts. Okay, back to the point. Jack. Oh, Jack Abbott. I have loved this man for decades. I have rooted for him against Victor Newman. I have cheered for his business successes, but he is being so incredibly dense right now. Why is he even entertaining Patty's threats? Patty thinks she can force Jack to sleep with her, to recreate their magic on the yacht, in order to save Diane from going to a mental facility or prison, and Jack looks like a deer in headlights. Wake up, Jack, you are the patriarch of the Abbott family. You have gone toe-to-toe with the mustache for 40 years, but you turn into absolute mush the second Patty Williams bats her crazy eyes at you. It is so frustrating to watch him cower. Let's talk about this magic on the yacht Patty keeps bringing up. It wasn't magic, Jack. It was manipulation. Patty has been obsessed with Jack since the dawn of time, and every time she comes back to town, someone ends up bleeding or locked in a cage. Why does Jack forget this? He should be calling the cops, calling Victor Newman for a favor, calling literally anyone other than standing there listening to her terms. But no, he's pacing around the Abbott living room, looking tortured, letting her dictate the terms of his life. This is exactly why Diane Jenkins Abbott needs to step in and handle this herself. Jack is too emotionally compromised, or just too blind, to deal with Patty effectively. Diane has survived faking her own death. She survived being framed for murder by Phyllis, and she just survived being locked in a padded cell by a fake psychiatrist. Diane is a survivor. She needs to march right up to Patty and shut this down. I am so ready for Diane to unleash her inner villain on Patty, because let's be real, Patty might be crazy, but Diane is calculated. Diane knows how to play the game better than anyone in that town, except maybe Victor. I want to see Diane walk into that living room, look Patty dead in the eye, and completely dismantle her ridiculous blackmail scheme, prove that Patty will never be smarter than the Abbotts. And while we are on the subject of Patty's delusions of grandeur, can we talk about what she is doing to Ashley? Because this ties directly into why Jack needs to stop playing games. Patty and Markham didn't just target Diane, they went after the strongest Abbott woman of them all. They kidnapped Abby and little Dominic. Ashley was forced to come back from Paris, and now she is literally losing her mind, going completely feral over her family. Ashley is a powerhouse, and Patty has pushed her to the absolute edge. If Jack thinks he can negotiate with a woman who is currently holding his niece and great-nephew hostage in some undisclosed location, he is dumber than I thought. Patty is waging a full-scale war against the Abbott family, and Jack is trying to treat it like a bad business deal. It is madness. But Patty genuinely believes she is the smartest person in the room. She thinks she has checkmated the entire Abbott family. She is completely off the rails, working with Markham to destroy Ashley, and yet she still thinks she can waltz into the Abbott mansion and dictate romantic terms to Jack. It's the sheer audacity for me. She thinks she can stab the man she claims to love, frame his current wife for the crime, kidnap his niece and great-nephew, and then demand romance as payment for her silence. It is textbook Patty Williams delusion, and I am both horrified and entirely captivated by it. I just need someone to knock that smug smile off her face. So now we have Michael Baldwin trying to clean up this massive legal mess, because of course he is. Michael, bless his heart, is the only lawyer in this town who actually does any work. He is looking at this situation with Patty and Diane, and he knows it's a ticking time bomb. Patty is getting more and more combative, doubling down on her ridiculous accusations against Diane. And Michael knows that even though the charges are absurd, the Genoa City Police Department is incompetent enough to actually arrest Diane based on Patty's word. I mean, Detective Burrow isn't exactly Sherlock Holmes. Michael is sweating because he sees the writing on the wall. Patty is going to use the legal system to torture Diane, and Jack is going to let it happen because he's terrified. So what does Michael do? He goes to Christine. He needs Christine's help to quash this before it gets out of hand. And I know some people are loving this legal drama, but personally, I find it hilarious. Michael is basically begging Christine to look at the facts or the complete lack thereof. We are supposed to think Patty's accusation is too ridiculous to stick, but Michael clearly thinks the DA has just enough evidence, aka Patty's insane ramblings, to make Diane's life a living hell. He is looking at Christine, hoping she will use her power to just make this all go away. And honestly, it is the only logical step. Michael and Christine have a long, complicated history. They used to battle it out in the courtroom all the time, and Michael knows exactly which buttons to push to get Christine to see reason. He knows that Christine prides herself on justice. So, he is going to look her in the eye and say, "Chris, you know this is a setup. You know Patty Williams is a certified lunatic. And let's be completely honest here about Christine. She has absolutely no excuse not to drop these charges against Diane. Remember when Christine dropped the charges against Phyllis? Phyllis literally faked her own death. Killed Jeremy Stark, okay? We know it was self-defense, but she still hid the body and lied about it, and caused massive, unforgivable trauma to her children. Summer and Daniel. And Christine let her walk, she just dropped it. So if Christine can let Phyllis Summers off the hook when she was undeniably guilty of multiple felonies, she can certainly drop the charges against Diane Jenkins when there is literally zero evidence tying Diane to Jack's stabbing. If Christine tries to prosecute Diane based on Patty's lies, I will scream hypocrisy from the rooftops. It would be the most ridiculous double standard in the history of this show. And speaking of screaming from the rooftops, can we please talk about Billy Abbott? I am so exhausted. I am physically and emotionally drained by this man-child. While Jack and Diane are literally fighting for their lives against a psychotic kidnapper, and Ashley is losing her mind over Abby and Dominic, Billy is over here whining to Jill about money, again. It is the exact same storyline we have seen a million times since 2015, and probably way before that. Billy is throwing a massive pity party because Jill doesn't trust him enough. I swear, if I have to hear Billy complain about his mother not believing in him one more time, I am going to throw my TV out the window. Billy is literally complaining to his mother that she hasn't invested enough in his company. Jill gave him money, she invested. But because she didn't just hand over a blank check and the keys to the entire Chancellor Winter's kingdom, Billy is acting like he's been deeply betrayed. Oh, you never believe in me, Mom. You always hold back. Give me a break. Billy, you have blown up every single company you have ever touched. You gambled away the family yacht. You started a podcast to complain about your feelings. Why on earth would Jill trust you with her entire fortune? You are a walking disaster. She is actually being incredibly generous by giving you a dime, and you are acting like a spoiled teenager who didn't get the exact sports car he wanted for his birthday. Now Billy is demanding to know what Jill's next move is. He wants to know what surprise she has for him next, and it better be a good one, or else he's gonna throw another epic tantrum. It is so embarrassing to watch. He is a grown man, a father, a corporate executive, and he is pouting in his office because his mommy won't let him play with all the toys. I am so over it. I want to see Billy actually take responsibility for once in his life instead of blaming Jill, or Jack, or Victor, or Lily, or whoever else is in his orbit for his own massive failures. He needs to grow up. Sally is dealing with a tragic miscarriage, the whole town is in chaos, and Billy is whining about venture capital. It is tone-deaf and infuriating. I know I'm ranting, but this episode just pushed all my buttons. The contrast between the life-or-death stakes of Patty's blackmail and Billy's pathetic corporate whining is giving me serious whiplash. I need Diane to absolutely destroy Patty and prove that she is the true queen of the Abbott mansion. I need Tracy to keep pulling hair if she has to, because badass Tracy is my new favorite thing. I need Michael to force Christine to do her job and drop these fake charges. And I need someone, anyone, to put Billy Abbott in a permanent timeout. Am I the only one who feels this way? Please tell me you guys are seeing this too. I can't wait to see what happens tomorrow. But if Jack caves to Patty and sleeps with her to save Diane, I might actually lose my mind. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because I definitely need to share this with people who get it.